mean, if you turn on American television right now, I think the framing of these protests by mainstream media has been that these students, they've lost the plot. That they've been radicalized by outsiders, right? And that these protests have been fostering a climate of anti-Semitism on campus. What is your take on how media has been treating this, or mainstream media framing this?
I think the mainstream media framing of this event has been abominable. It has done a grave injustice to the events that transpired on campus, to the events as they're being manifest in the world, right? First and foremost, the kinds of coverage that we're seeing of the occupation, of the genocide in Palestine has been just atrocious. And I think this is part of what the encampment, part of what the students and faculty have been drawing attention to, is the mis and disinformation, the fake news, the completely skewed, absolutely skewed coverage of these events, both globally and locally. I mean, the kind of witch hunt for anti-Semites on campus has been deeply pervasive. They've taken something real, anti-Semitism, and made it a boogeyman because they refuse to define it, right? So the very committee on campus that is meant to investigate cases of anti-Semitism refuses to define it. And it chilled the campus culture completely, and also almost stalled it to a point where people felt as though they had to radically self-censor around certain kinds of ideas that were pertinent to their lectures, pertinent to how they were moving in this space and trying to assist their students in doing the same. The media has taken that language that now is being fomented and has been fomented amongst elected officials and made it into the flashpoint without recognizing that much of this started at Columbia around the suspension of Jewish Voices for Peace and Students for Justice in Palestine, that those two organizations were working together, that Jewish students have been a large part of the organization on Columbia campus, a big part of the encampment, that these kinds of relationships are formed and enduring out of these struggles, and that people are actually working towards a future that is sustainable. This is not an abandonment of their future. This is just a group of students who have decided to dismiss expectations for bourgeois aspiration and have instead demanded that the future be just and that they fight for life, everyone's life, universally.